Ladies and gentlemen, Barry C here with another cryptocurrency video, and XRP is going to become way too expensive for the majority of people a lot sooner than people anticipate. And what I mean by that is the majority of people who look at XRP and think it'll never go above $3, it's never going to go anywhere, that XRP is dead. A lot of people who, have dismissed XRP entirely. They're the ones that are absolutely going to be left behind. And it's the few people who see the value in XRP and see the potential, the ones who have made really great decisions right now, they're the ones that are going to find success in the very near future. Now, not financial advice, of course, ladies and gents, just my perspective as someone who's been in crypto since 2016, and I can see the unique potential of what XRP is designed to do and the unique potential of what XRP can offer. And look, let me lay this out for you. This is, in my opinion, what I see happening. Now, the main reason that so many people will be left behind is that they're looking at XRP from a retail investor point of view. They look at the situation as it exists right now. They go, look, I can log onto a crypto exchange. I can find XRP. Lol, it's trading below $3. It's going to go nowhere. Banks aren't using it yet. And they dismiss it. And the thing that they don't understand is that, once again, that's the mindset of a retail investor, because we don't have any historic data. We don't have a blueprint of what happens when a crypto sees mass adoption, the way XRP could see a mass adoption. We don't have any data on what would happen if banks around the world utilize XRP or a crypto. We can't go back in time from 2016 till now and say, look, that's where Bitcoin was used by banks, or Chainlink, or Ethereum, or Solana, or whatever it may be. We don't have that information. So people only really look at it through the lens of a retail investor. Now, here's the thing. When we start talking about mass adoption, the reality is there's only so much XRP available. So if we look at the XRP ETFs, for example, and let's say more and more XRP spot ETFs are released and more money is flowing into the accumulation of XRP as a digital asset. And that's the beginning, right? That's the very start of it. That's before any banks or any institutions around the world announce that they are adopting and utilizing XRP in the way they conduct finance. So you have all these institutions that will be coming into the space. Now, when we get the likes of a BlackRock, when they're coming in and they start buying up XRP and they start providing their version of an accumulation strategy or an accumulation pathway for the people who utilize BlackRock for their investment strategies, that's when things get interesting. Because once all that XRP is accumulated to provide people access to these ETFs, and then when banks and financial institutions come along and say, hey, we're going to start utilizing XRP's technology in the way we conduct finance, then we're no longer talking about a retail investment approach. We're no longer just talking about a digital asset. We're talking about something entirely different. We're talking about something that essentially becomes a bridge currency. We're talking about something that essentially takes the way we conduct finance and changes it and modernizes it. And once that happens, there's no going back. When banks and financial institutions get that green light, when they're allowed to utilize blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in the way they conduct finance, banks and financial institutions aren't going to sit back and wait for someone to create something. And look, here's the thing. Even if they do, even if banks decide, hey, we're going to create our own blockchain, our own crypto, we're going to create that ourselves. Or they go, you know what, we're going to look at stable coins. Or look, they may even look at other cryptos. Like, people always like to try and slam dunk and go, well, MasterCard and Solana. It's like, yeah, but people make mistakes. They may try Solana and go, you know what, this isn't the one. They may try stablecoins and go, you know what, not for us. They may not get it right the first time. But here's the thing. The banks that have trialed XRP, the enthusiasm they have for the cross-border payment technology and the on-demand liquidity, I mean, that's the game changer right there. You're effectively taking the banking system and the transaction system in the way it exists right now, and you're modernizing it and updating it for the better. You know, if you can send anything of value that can be tokenized from point A to point B almost instantaneously for a fraction of a fee, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, doesn't matter what the currency is, there's no additional currency exchange rates, there's no handling fees, there's no review period, there's no lockup time because they have to look, we've got to look at the transaction. It has to go through a variety of people. There's all the handling fees, there's currency exchange rates. In some instances, we have to wait for the bank to be open so that we can, confirm a variety of things. You're streamlining the process and you're making the process more accessible, easier, straightforward. That's the game-changing element of XRP. And no other crypto comes close to what XRP does. And this is the reason why so many people will be left behind. Because they look at XRP and they go, well, if it could do that, then it should already be doing it. They don't understand. They don't understand that there's not a single bank out there that has announced they're going to be using blockchain technology in the way they conduct finance. But the moment that happens, and the moment they trial XRP again to make sure it can handle the world's finances, and when that happens, when they go ahead, that's it. There's no going back. Because what's going to happen is once XRP is utilized by banks and financial institutions all around the world, when you have millions and billions and trillions of dollars flowing directly into XRP on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis, it's just going to be continuous. So essentially the price of XRP will skyrocket up and it's going to essentially stabilize. Now, whether that price is $1,000, whether it's $10,000, whether it's higher, who knows? But all I do know is that once it stabilizes, once that money's flowing through, that's it. There's no turning the money off and on, off and on. And so then a lot of people are going to be on the sidelines going, well, wait a minute, now XRP is trading at $1,000 or $10,000 or maybe even higher, and now they're going to want in. And the banks aren't going to turn around and go, oh, look, so many people fumbled XRP. Look, how about we just stop trading for a week? We'll stop all transactions through XRP. It gives everybody an opportunity to buy in cheap. That's not going to happen. And the amount of people who are betting against that, the amount of people who are saying, I don't think that's going to happen, that will never be the case with XRP. So I'm going to completely dismiss it. That is a interesting game. And all I can say, and look, not financial advice, but I believe, and once again, not financial advice, but this is kind of where I see things going. I think there's a finite time period left from a retail point of view where we can accumulate XRP as retail investors. I think once we see mass adoption, once we see utility run, once we see financial institutions adopting XRP into the way they conduct finance, I think XRP is going to decouple from the typical 4-year cycle, decouple away from Bitcoin, from all the other altcoins, and exist in a class of its own. And once that happens, ladies and gents, that's when XRP becomes way too expensive, especially for those of us who got into XRP at 1 cent or 10 cents or 30 cents or 50 cents or $1, $2. When you start talking about prices like $100, $1,000, maybe $10,000, maybe more, that's when it becomes way too expensive. And that's when all the people who got left behind, all the people who are on the sidelines, even the people yet to get into crypto, those are the type of prices they will be paying for XRP. Because once we see prices like $100, $1,000, even higher, that's when the FOMO kicks in. That's when everybody wants it. That's when everybody's going to be desperate to buy. And there may not be that much XRP available. That's why people will have to pay $1,000, maybe more, just for one XRP. And I know it sounds crazy, ladies and gents, but that's kind of my perspective on where it's going. We are working towards that level of mass adoption and that type of price point. Now, as I said, ladies and gents, none of this is financial advice. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're curious about the other cryptos I hold outside of XRP, consider becoming a Patreon. Click the link in the description below, head across to my Patreon page, and consider becoming a Barry C VIP. There you'll have access to all the other cryptos I hold, as well as my buy, sell, and take profit signals in real time.